Time to fight fear with faith. Jody Paar is a survivor who is no longer staying silent. She and her guest will fuel you up so you too can fight fear. Uplifting and inspirational stories that will rock you to your core. We don't tiptoe around the truth. We steamroll it in a bold way. This is your life, and now is the time to start living it. Get ready for the Faith Over Fear podcast with Jody Paar. Now, welcome Jody Paar to inspire you.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to my very first podcast. Woo-hoo! I am so super excited. Wow, never did I think I would have a podcast, but here I am. The name of the podcast is Faith Over Fear, and what I want to remind all of you are, no matter what you're going through, is to always remember that you can have faith over fear over every single circumstance. A little backstory to me is basically 23 years ago, I escaped human trafficking. It was something that I kept a secret for a very long time. And this past year, God revealed to me that I was going to tell my story. And it's kind of crazy how God did that. I had started a YouTube channel called Bling Life. It was all about bling. As you see, I love the bling. And so I was reviewing bling items and just having some fun on there. But I always wore a big blingy wig, and I always wore big dark blingy glasses. So I basically hid myself. And there was a reason that I was hiding my identity, but I did not want to tell anybody what that reason was. And so God started to wake me up in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning, or in the middle of the morning, I guess, and saying that I was going to tell my story. And I had never told anybody but my sister. That's the only person I ever told. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell my dad. I didn't tell my husband. I hadn't told anybody what I had been through. And so whenever I woke up in the middle of the night or morning and God's like, you're going to tell your story, I thought, oh, no, I'm not. And so the next morning, I woke up again, 3 o'clock in the morning, God heavy on my heart saying, you're going to tell your story. And me again arguing. Now, guys, it's not very smart to argue with God because you're just not going to win, because you're going to keep waking up every single morning. So the third morning that this happened, I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll tell my story. So I put on my wig and my glasses, and I got in front of a camera with my puppies, and I did a Why I Hide My Identity video. Now, I didn't tell the exact details of what happened. I kind of tweaked my story a little bit because I was still so afraid of telling the true story. Well, when I got through doing the video, I told my husband, I said, I'm going to take a break from YouTube. And I had no idea what a huge break I would be taking. But anyways, so that week we were going to a 10X conference. If you don't know about 10X, it's a huge convention. Grant Cardone, it is absolutely amazing. And I kind of felt like I wasn't smart enough to be there because, let's be honest, growing up, I had a lot of learning disabilities. I am dyslexic. I do things backwards. You can give me a number one way, I'll give it back to you backwards, or I'll do things backwards. And it's something I've always struggled with. And so whenever, my husband wants me to go to this event with all these smart people, so to say, I'm like, I'm just not smart enough. But something kept telling me, yes, you are, and you need to be there. And so I went with my husband, and we saw some amazing speakers, and I absolutely loved it. It was so empowering to listen to these motivational speakers and listen to their stories. And so while I was there, I met a lady by the name of Forbes Riley who would forever change my life. Forbes Riley was the rock star female speaker at this event, and while she was on stage, she was really tormenting this poor kid because she kept asking him, what do you want? And he kept answering with these answers, like, I want to be rich, or I want to be successful, or I want to be, and she was like, no, but what do you want? And as she said this, it spoke to my heart, and I thought, what do I want? Like, what do I want to do with my life? And I knew the answer to that. I've always had a heart to help people, but I never knew how. And I actually got to meet Forbes Riley. I waited in a really long line, and when I got up to her, I was so excited, and I walked up to talk to her, and I saw video cameras on me. And when I saw these video cameras on me, I freaked out because I knew that I did not have a disguise on and that people could see me. And I began to cry, and she came up to me and she hugged me. She was so nice, and she said, what's wrong with you? And I said, you just don't know my past. I can't have my face on a camera. I'm terrified of this. And she looked at me, and she looked deep in my eyes, and she spoke these words. And I want you guys to listen to these words and take them into your heart and ask yourself the same question. Because she asked me, what would you do if there was no comfort zone? Wow. Well, I immediately knew I would tell my story and I would help people. And when she said that to me, it was like a bolt of lightning came down from heaven, and God spoke to my heart and said, it is time. I ended up the next night starting my book, which is called Boss, Breakout Silent Soldier. I started writing it on my cell phone. I wrote the very first chapter. Within 2 weeks, I ended up writing 3 books about my memoir of life and what I had been through. The first book released in May last year, and it ended up being a bestseller. I can't tell you how many people have come forward and come to me after reading my book, and it has blessed me in such a way that I cannot put into words. So many are hurting that have never spoke of what happened to them, whether it be at 4 years old or 14 years old or 40 years old. They're carrying secrets that they've never told a soul. So what is my story about? Well, my story is about me being lured in and groomed into sex trafficking, into human trafficking. And I never told anyone the story because I was so ashamed and I was so full of guilt. But what you guys got to know is this. There is purpose in the pain. And although I went through that, today I understand why. And so the purpose of this podcast is so that I can help others know that they are not alone. And we can all have faith over fear together. It's kind of crazy because I was trying to think of the name of my podcast and I couldn't. I just was praying about it and writing down all these different things. And right over there on my chair is a shirt that one of my very close friends gave me. And it says faith over fear. And I'm like, every single thing that I do is faith over fear. Everything I do. I must have lost some weight because my glasses don't want to stay up. They're slowly sliding down my nose. That's my luck. I lose weight in my head. But anywho, faith over fear. And I thought that's exactly what it is, because I want to interview people that have overcome fear. And I want to spread those stories. And I want people to know they're not alone. And I want people to know that whatever it is that you're in fear of, false evidence appearing real. Think about that. False evidence appearing real. We worry about things that aren't even in existence. We worry about not being able to pay our rent, but it's not even there yet. Your rent's not due for a month or so. We worry about getting in a car accident, but yet we ain't even got in the car yet. We worry about finding our true love, but yet it's not time for us to. We date all the wrong ones. We're just trying to find the right one, where if you give your life to God, He can give you the right one. Trust me, I know that. I went through lots of toes before I got my prince, my king. He's amazing. But guys, that's what I want this podcast to be about. So I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Jody Paar. I'm so honored to be able to do this podcast with you. If you're interested in doing a podcast with me, please reach out, Jody, Jody, at blinglife.net. And let's just join forces together to help others know that they're not alone, that they are loved, and that they can have faith over fear. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys. Actually, yeah, I guess I will see you because I am on camera. I was going to say I'll talk to you later. How about that? All right. Be blessed. Bye-bye.